How is everybody doing? I hope everybody's having a great first day to 2021. And welcome to the first Flash Sale Friday of the new year. And good news, bad news, we're already sold out. We just saw that. But I'm still going to go through the bundle because if you want to get in on a box like this, you can add yourself to the wait list. So you can still click the link and all that. Just go ahead and add yourself to the wait list. We went ahead and listed a bunch of boxes because if you got my email newsletter, you probably saw that we had to close our brick and mortar store. We have been closed since March, which is wild to think that it's almost been a year since we closed the doors on the shop, hoping that things were kind of going to kick up and do this and do that, and we kept holding off and this and that. Anyways, we closed the shop permanently. We have to have everything out by the end of February. So we are doing a lot of like clearance sales and moving out our inventory that obviously has been sitting in the shop. And so it's good news for you guys because we get to do clearance sales. So what we did for this week's Flash Sale Friday is that we cut up a ton of yardage. And if you're familiar with my shop or you know that I'm a quilter, you know we carry a designer quality quilting cottons. So every box, we're doing medium flat rate boxes like this. And this is just one that I grabbed to open up. I had one of my employees here this morning working all day on folding everything, bundling up and things. But I just wanted to share kind of a view of what you're getting for those of you that already placed an order. So thank you all for that. There are between 14 and 16 different cuts of fabric. And this weighs almost 4.5 pounds, okay? So all the cuts, I will say this because I think it's kind of important depending on what types of projects you sew. There's nothing here less than half of a yard. So there's no fat quarters, which most of you probably know. A fat quarter is half of a half yard, okay? They're all half yards or greater. Most of the cuts are gonna be between, say, 30 inches and a yard. So you get good sized chunks for yardage. And I thought that that would be good. That way, all the different boxes get a good variety of prints. And then if you're someone who follows my stuff, chances are you probably make like handbags, small pouches, gifts, and just things that require smaller yardage. Or maybe you work on like scrappy quilts. And that would be perfect to have like, you know, anywhere between half of a yard and 1 yard of fabric. So this is just one of them. We also went ahead and included 1 spool of Gutermann top stitching thread. So although you can sew with this to construct your bags and pouches and that kind of stuff, because it is 100% polyester, you know that I love this stuff for garments. This is also the top stitching thread that I use when I make jeans for the top stitching, like contrasting color, right? If you have a dark wash of a denim, I like to use like hot pink or something bright that stands out in the top stitching of the pockets, of the side seams and that kind of stuff. So if you sew bags, pouches, zipper pouches, that kind of stuff, and you're top stitching around the top edge, give the spool of thread that we included in your bundle a try and see what you think about it. Then of course we included my little Crafty Gemini sticker, and then a fun little addition. This is a pocket mirror from Crafted Moon. My friend Sarah Watts, y'all probably know her as a fabric designer for Ruby Star Society. And so this is just a little pocket mirror that has a sewing machine on the back. So we threw that in there as an extra little bundle. Okay, so super discount priced on the yardage, all designer quality cottons. The fabric companies that are mostly represented here are Robert Kaufman, Art Gallery Fabrics, Paintbrush Studios, Wyndham Fabrics, and actually some of you are going to get super lucky. In your bundles we had a little bit of yardage left of certified organic cotton fabrics from Mona Luna. Amazing fabrics, and I had very little amounts, and that stuff retails for like $16 a yard. So some of you got lucky and may have some bundles of that in there, or some cuts of that in your bundle. Okay, so those of you that did get in on it, for some reason there was a glitch on our site where you were charged for shipping, and you all know that our flash sales include free shipping in the US. So we've already gone ahead and refunded a bunch of you. By the end of the night, all of you will be refunded, and then we'll start working on shipping out the boxes. So don't worry about that. I was asking my husband, I'm like, why would they buy it if they saw they were being charged for shipping? I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but maybe you all know us already and you know that if I say it's free shipping, you're obviously going to get refunded because it has to be free shipping. So that was kind of interesting to see. So, oh, let me grab my little note card. I threw it in the box by mistake. But that's just for those of you that maybe are tuning in new, you don't know what my flash sales are. That's kind of an overview. I always list in the product description of whatever the item is for the flash sale, everything that is included. That way you're not left in the dark and you know exactly what you're paying for that you're going to get. Okay, but flash sales for us always include free shipping. So I see that a bunch of you are already adding yourselves to the wait list. And if you're new here, you're new to my Facebook page or my YouTube channel, you can always shop with us at craftygemini.com/shop. And so usually on a flash sale Friday, if you want to see what the bundle is, it's going to be the first item up for sale in the main shop page. So craftygemini.com/shop, and then you'll see what it is. So right now, if you go there, you'll see that it's listed. But when you scroll down to the bottom to select it, like to add it to your cart, because we are sold out, it will say sold out or out of stock. And then you'll see a box where you can enter your email address and be added to the wait list. Then automatically, as soon as we restock the bundles, you will get an email notification, and then it'll tell you, hey, they restocked this bundle, and you can head on over there and grab your new bundle, okay? Let me go through here and say what's up to my peoples. All right, let's see. Oh, Happy New Year, everybody. All right. Okay, good. Yeah, so some of you are already starting to see those refunds coming in, so that's fine. On that... Okay, oh, some of you are just tuning in for the first time. Well, welcome if you are. I post instructional video tutorials on my YouTube channel. I have a bunch of online video courses for quilting, handbag making, wallet making, organizer making kind of projects, and I teach very step-by-step. That's just my teaching style, and it's all done mostly through video instruction. That's kind of like my forte, because I get to show you visually what I want you to learn, and then I get to run my mouth, which I obviously love to do. So I wanted to catch up a little bit with y'all and let you know what I'm working on for the new year. Let me know in the chat right now, what types of projects are you going to tackle in 2021? I, for one, if you follow me, you know that I recently, I think it was actually Christmas Day, that I spent building my new Handy Quilter Moxie long arm quilting machine. And I posted a video, it's kind of like a time-lapse fast-forward video of me building the frame, playing around on it a little bit, and sharing my tips for those of you that maybe are going to get one and build it for yourself. And so on Wednesday, we had a Whip Wednesday that had some technical difficulties on the YouTube side. But if you want to watch the full thing, I already uploaded it to the YouTube channel, so it's there. And I'm definitely going to be doing a lot more quilting, meaning finishing my actual quilts. Raise your hand if you got a bunch of whips, right? All our UFOs or whips that we're working on. Don't judge me. These quilt tops are years old. But some of the samples that I have made over the years featuring like my 5-inch slicer, my 10-inch slicer ruler, I'm finally going to be able to quilt them, like finish them off, okay? Because now that the long arm is right here in my sewing studio, it's just gonna make it a lot easier for me to finish my projects, all right? Let's see. Okay, Barbara says she's working on a baby quilt, a block of the month with her guild, and finishing her whips. I feel like that's like a good representation of the majority of us, if not a bunch more. Ooh, Virginia says she's gonna make a cover for her CPAP machine. That's cool. Let's see. Julie is asking, will you continue to have videos and sales? Absolutely. So because we had to close the brick and mortar store, it's really just going to allow us now, since it was, you got to pivot in the age of COVID, allow us more time to work from home, put together more projects, which I will share some of them with you in this Flash Sale Friday, that things that we have coming up that we've been working on. And just, since we have to pivot even more online, just working on growing and building our community even more so that we can feel more connected in this super weird time. So yeah, we will definitely have videos. We'll have flash sales. I'm still going to keep up with the Whip Wednesdays, which is when we go live both on my Facebook page, that's the Crafty Gemini Facebook page, and then also on the YouTube channel, which is The Crafty Gemini. On Wednesdays, I go live at 1 p.m. Eastern. And then on Fridays, like tonight, if you're watching me, you already know, I go live at 7 p.m. Eastern, okay? Ooh, Mary Grace says she started a backpack today. Karen says she's going to tackle some of her Jali purchases, her patterns. So she's working on clothes. Okay, I see a bunch of you want to finish your UFOs. I feel like that's, always the goal, crank them out. So here's another one that I made with my 5-inch slicer. You probably have seen this over the years when I talk about the different little blocks and stuff. So we are going to play with these on the long arm and get them quilted. Now here's another one that I actually have never done a block or a video tutorial on the block. It features my 10-inch slicer and my friend Stacy. Hi Stacy, if you're watching. Stacy Smith in Mount Dora made this sample for me years ago. Okay, how cute is that? This was done with a 1930s reproduction layer cake stack. Okay? Everything good? So she did, she made it with the squares, right? Because my 10-inch slicer features 10-inch by 10, or is designed to be used with 10-inch by 10-inch square pieces of fabric, but then you see that double stripe chevron that's going through it. I think this is such a cool block. And then when you alternate them, cutting fabric, some of the squares with the pretty side of the fabric face up and some of them face down, then you get the chevron shape. So if you want to see me do a tutorial on this block, because you already have my 10-inch slicer ruler, let me know that in the chat box below. This might be a fun project to do as a quilt along or even just as a tutorial on my YouTube channel. I think that would be kind of fun. So there's so many different ways that you can use that ruler. And if you're not familiar with my 10-inch slicer ruler, it is a ruler I designed about 6 years ago now that is designed to be used with a 10-inch by 10-inch square pieces of fabric. And then the smaller ruler, the 5-inch slicer, is designed, whoops, I threw a little piece of tissue, flew off the table. The 5-inch slicer was designed to be used with 5-inch square pieces, so like little charm packs. So that's why these guys are smaller, because those are with that ruler. But these are rulers that we sell in our online shop, and we also have them listed on Amazon. Okay, so just to give you an idea, these are definitely unfinished quilt tops that I need to get on the long arm. So that's that. Let me pop over and answer some questions, and then I'll keep talking and tell you what is coming up next for us in terms of classes and clubs and stuff that we're going to be doing now that we are in a new year. Oh, Patty says yes. Oh, Nessie says she loves that chevron, so that's cool. Jolyn says, I have the ruler, but I've never used it. Oh my gosh, we got to get you cutting into some fabric. Karen says, please, I love that pattern. Well, I'm glad I brought it up. I was pulling it out of my stash, and I told my husband, I need to start separating the quilts that need to be bound and the quilt tops, right, that need to be quilted, because I just had them in a big stack. So now I can actually see what I'm working with, and then whatever I throw on the long arm, I'm going to try to film tutorials for y'all so I can show you how the Handy Quilter Moxie works and you know, playing around with different designs on it. Okay, so yeah, Kelly says that double chevron quilt design is so neat. I'd love a tutorial. Awesome. Okay. Excuse me while I take a sip of my tea. All right. Any questions for me tonight? Let me know. Ooh, Inga says she's working on a wefty quilt for 2021. That is super cool. It's if y'all are not familiar with the wefty, it's a tool that you use. You make like these folded strips of fabric and then you weave over, under across fabric while you have it pinned to a board. I have a tutorial for it, and we do have those in stock as well. It's a kind of a cool tool to use. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. All right. So now, okay, Sheila's asking, is there a new bag of the month club? So, of course, as wild as 2020 was, everything got pushed back a little bit. And months ago, I mentioned that the next thing that we were going to release or launch was going to be the Clammy Quilt Club. So that's coming next, and that is going to launch this month, okay, in January, in just a couple of weeks. And the reason that one has taken a little bit longer than anticipated is because we're kind of going all out on this one. It's going to be like a super exclusive. So if y'all are familiar with my quilt clubs of the past, there were like membership clubs that you could join, and we had new projects every month and stuff like that. That was like the first iteration of it back in 2015 to 2017. Then, was it last year or the year before? Not last year, 2020, the last year, 2019, I had another quilt club that featured, you know, a bunch of different blocks and three different quilts, and then different techniques on how to finish and quilt your quilt. So I'm always coming out with new techniques, new blocks, and things to do. So this year, because I wanted to use the clammy ruler since I was so obsessed with it, this is the clammy ruler. It's designed by my friend Latifa Safir of Latifa Safir Studios. If you haven't seen it before, super cool tool and a ton of ways to use it. So I thought it's not just the ruler to do one type of a block. And so I thought there's way more content here than just like a few tutorials worth. So I definitely wanted to launch a quilt club like Crafty Gemini Quilt Club Clammy Edition. So that is what we're going to be working on or launching this month. And it's going to be like kind of a higher level of the other quilt clubs that I've done in the past, more exclusive. We're putting together an entire box bundle of the stuff that you'll need to tackle this. And I'll just show you a couple samples that Latifa had sent me. I asked her for a few samples so that I can show the different ways that you can use the same ruler. Now, I think we still have some rulers in stock. They come in 4 sizes. There's 6-inch, 8-inch, 10-inch, which is this one. And this is the one that we will be using in the quilt club that's coming up next, okay? If you don't have it yet, we don't have it in stock because we're holding our inventory for the boxes. So if you think you're going to sign up for the quilt club, Just hold off on getting it because it will be included in your box. For those of you that join the Quilt Club and you already have the ruler, no worries. We will be in contact with you so that obviously you don't get a box with a whole nother clammy ruler, unless you want to. But we will talk to y'all about that. So let me show you a couple samples of what you can do with this. So here is this pillow that she sent me. How cute is this? Look at this sample. The orange peel version of it, right? Like using it to cut out this shape, both the positive that you see in the color here and what I would call the negative space here, okay? So that's one, super cool, super cute. I'm gonna be sharing all the curve piecing tips with y'all in this quilt club, okay? There is so much content that I can cover in this that I knew instead of just doing it like a video course, I had to make it a club because there's gonna be a ton of stuff that we're gonna do. Okay, now you can use the clammy ruler to cut out like a drunkard's path block, which would be like a quarter of a circle, then a half circle, and then piecing even a full circle. Now this is not appliqued, okay? This is pieced. Look at this. It's wild. If you look at this, you're like, wait a minute, how did they piece a whole circle into the skinny background of the background fabric? Isn't that amazing? I think this quilt is so gorgeous, y'all. So fresh and modern looking, but can you see this done as an I Spy quilt or a scrappy quilt, or you know, you have just scraps of yardage around and you just put it all together with some type of a background fabric that ties everything in. Look at that. How many of y'all like that? You can learn how to piece round circles for sure. So obviously in the quilt club, I will be going over all the different ways to use the ruler, okay? Okay, so Sheila says, yeah, that sounds great. Let's see. Julie says, cleaning out the scrap tote, making string quilts. Oh, that's a fun project that you're working on. So let me fold this up, and then I'm going to show you a couple more. Just so you can see the variety of quilt blocks that can be made, and of course, you know, different sizes. And what I want to do with this quilt club is basically use it to teach y'all the techniques and tips to learn how to accurately and successfully piece curves, okay? But we're not going to make like king size quilts with each thing because you already know when you're cutting pieces this small and dealing with so many curves, it can be time consuming. But I want you at least to finish out the quilt club with the skills that you need. So we're going to be making small mini quilt projects featuring the different methods. How amazing is this quilt? So this drunkard's path block as well was made using the clammy. Isn't that cute? So, so cute. Love it. That's the rainbow one. This is one of my favorites for sure that features the half circle. And I made a quilt top and a half, I think. I have it over there on my stack. Look at the half circle. So the same way that the full circles were pieced, look at these guys. So again, the Crafty Gemini Quilt Club Clammy Edition is what is coming up next in terms of online courses and clubs. I know a lot of you have been emailing us asking, when is this coming out? When is that coming out? So the Clammy is going to be the first, that Quilt Club Clammy Edition, as I mentioned. And we're really going to take it up a notch and make sure that y'all are going to get a whole box of stuff, okay, goodies and things that are going to make you feel like you're part of a community online as we tackle these projects with the clammy ruler. I love that. And then the same way that we had this sample that had that orange peel shape, look at a bigger quilt with the same thing. Oh, these colors too, y'all. How gorgeous. Obsessed. Isn't that pretty? Wow. So yeah, that is what we're working on next. So stay tuned. If you are not yet subscribed to my email newsletter, make sure that you subscribe. You can sign up by just going to craftygemini.com and you'll see a tab there that says email sign up. When you click on it, it'll have you click another button to go over to the page where you enter your email address, and then it will add you to the email list, okay? And that way, at least you know you'll be in the loop and then in the know when we send out the first email, because just like I do all my clubs, all my courses, we always release everything when we open it up to the public, when you can sign up at an early bird sale price, and then that price goes away. Okay, so because we're also including boxes and like a limited kit, basically to go with the Clammy Quilt Club, we are definitely going to be very tight on the turnaround time frame for when you'll be able to sign up at that early bird sale price. So the best way to know and be able to get in on it right when it's released is by being subscribed to my email newsletter list. Okay, that's where we announce everything. And then I also send out 2 emails every week just to let you know when we're going live, because I know sometimes people don't know where to go exactly to catch us. And that's where we send out that info as well. All right, let's see. Nancy says, I'm interested in continuing to learn to sew garments. So we have something in store for you too, Nancy, and that will be coming after. So first is the Clammy Quilt Club. Then after that, we are releasing finally my new online bag club. I know some of you have been waiting for over a year now for the next bag club, and so we will be working on that. And we actually were just narrowing down what the next garment sewing project will be. So because it's still cold in most places, we're probably going to do something in that world of something that you would wear when it's a little bit cooler outside. So just if you're signed up to the email newsletter list, that's how you'll get all the information up front. So Nancy and anybody else who wants to work on more courses featuring garment sewing courses that I offer, definitely make sure that you are subscribed. Okay? Kathy says, how about boxes with 1 yard cuts? So we have to see what else we have, because we've been bringing inventory from the shop as we get everything out of the shop. And so we have to see how much we have left of what yardage to see what we can do. But yeah, I mean, that's doable. I'll just jot that down real quick. 1 yard cuts. I will say, and the one that we just, the bundles that we sold out of tonight, most of them were like 30 inches to 36 inches, like in that range of cuts. And there were 14 to 16 cuts per box. So, I mean, a lot of yardage. All right, so let's see. Heather says she's excited for the bag club. Kay says, yay, another bag club. Yep. We got some bags in the works for y'all so that we can finally release it and, do another bag club with the video courses, which is what I do. If you're interested in making bags, and you are not familiar with my courses or my channels or anything, definitely head over to CraftyGemini.com. Under shop, you can look at memberships and then also PDF and video workshops, and you can see the full list. I offer over 60 courses, individual courses on different wallets, different handbags, beginner-friendly tote bags. Like, we have all that where you can sign up for it in a club where it's bundled with other projects, or just sign up for the one class. If you see a wallet you like, you want to learn how to make that one, you can just click and sign up for that course individually, okay? All right. Nancy says, will you recommend fabrics and resources for fabric? Are you asking, Nancy, about fabrics for the quilt club or for the bag club? Go ahead and type that in and I can answer accordingly. All right. Hey, everybody. Elizabeth says, yay, another quilt club. Yeah, so that's what's coming up next. So first, Crafty Gemini Quilt Club, Clammy Edition, which... where'd my clammy ruler go? Here. And we will be working, I think I mentioned this earlier, we will be working with the 10-inch clammy. So if you have it already, you'll be ready, okay? And then, let's see. Nice to see you for the new year. Thank you. Okay. Maria's asking, do you have a video on how to sew the cork fabric? So I do. What is it called? I feel like I have a little needle book, and I show you some tips on sewing with cork fabric. I think if you just type in if you're on YouTube and you type in Crafty Gemini cork fabric, whatever videos I've done that feature cork fabric will pop up for you, because I know I have several. Okay, Heather says, I know I will do the quilt club and the bag club. That's awesome, Heather. Thank you for your continued support. We appreciate you, girl. All right. Oh, you're welcome. Athena says, you're an amazing woman. Thank you for sharing your talent. I'm happy to share. Now that we are home, and we have the kids kind of situated, and we're in the new home. We have my sewing studio here. I have my laptop, so now I have a more ergonomic setup for editing my videos. The long arm is in here. You see that I brought all my sewing machines back here, y'all. So that's another thing I've been doing. I act like, I feel like I haven't done anything. But I have been reorganizing this entire studio because I had to make room for the long arm here, okay? And all my machines are going to be across this back wall now. So I have my workhorse, Juki, TL2010Q. Y'all have seen this baby for the last 6 years probably. Then I have a bumped up upgrade to this Juki DX7. This is the Juki NX7. So this is another workhorse with a 12-inch throat space. Ridiculous. And then I have my Juki MO1000 air threading serger here. I did a review on that on YouTube. So I have a review for the first one, this third machine. I haven't done one on this one yet. And I keep saying I haven't done a review on it because I don't yet know what all it does. It does everything. Okay, so and it's an elevated version of the DX7, so it does even more than that. It has like a built-in dual feed foot on the back. It's insane. Excuse me. And then the air threading serger, I have a review for that one, the MO1000. Then I have my Juki cover stitch because I seen some of y'all said, why do you have two sergers up there? But it looks like a serger, but it's a cover stitch. And the difference between a serger and a cover stitch is that the serger has a blade that cuts and finishes the edge of fabric. Right? So when we're making garments, we can clean off the raw edge seams and then stitch it up at the same time, especially for stretchy fabrics like sweaters, you know, like long turtleneck type shirts, leggings, that kind of stuff, easy peasy to make the whole thing on there. The cover stitch stitches on the hem. Excuse me. It stitches the hem. So it's like where you turned under and then you're top stitching around the bottom, say of a top or a dress or something. That is what you would use that for. So it doesn't have a blade. It just, you can set it up depending on the model, like 2 needles or 3 needles. And then the spacing in between the needles, you can adjust it so it's like a wider space in between 2 or really narrow space in between 3. So it's just like more of a decorative finish for the outside of the hems. And it works great because although it looks like a straight stitch on the outside, it still preserves the stretch of the garment, okay? And then on the end, you probably can't even see it, is my Baby Luxe Spirit, which is a huge, amazing standalone embroidering machine. So it doesn't sew, it just embroiders. Yeah. I have obviously a lot more machines than this, but these are my workhorses that I use most often, and then I was able to set them up against the back wall. I was super excited about that. Then the long arm is here. So remember the purple chair I had in this back corner here? I had to move it to the opposite corner. So now I have 2 blank walls that I need to make a bunch of mini quilts for. So I told my husband I need to design a bunch of mini quilts, you know, this year so that I can have stuff to put up on my wall and decorate it. All right. Oh, Rebecca says, I will take any class you teach. That's awesome. Thank you. Linda says the bag club sounds fun. She might even do that one too. Yeah, so, and we are playing with new technology since there were so many changes going around in the whole world, really, especially in online business last year. We have been dabbling and playing around with different systems, technology stuff, because I do, you know, I miss retreats. I was telling my husband earlier, like, I can't believe it's been almost a year since we had our quilting cruise. A year. I feel like it was in February of last year. As soon as we got back, the world shut down. It's like we didn't even get to show off anything that we made, that we did. We didn't get to talk to anybody about the cruise. It was amazing. We had a blast. It was like the way to go out with a bang. And it was the beginning of the year. Insane. But no retreats, you know, no in-person classes. So we definitely are going to be ramping up what we already do and what we have already been doing online, but just taking it to another level. Now that we're all here, we're home, and I have a good, well-lit, workable space to offer y'all more community building and courses and clubs. And so something else that we've been working on that I will just lightly tease to, because y'all know I love to tease, is an exclusive program that people will be able to get into, so you can be like the first to know what we're doing, what is going on. And it's going to be kind of like a VIP group. And so that's something else that we're working on. You know, we've hired different people to put different systems in place for us. So I am very much looking forward to offering that, because it'll be more of a connected, right, a vibe. Like, we'll be able to do more stuff talking. All right. Susie says, we were blessed on that cruise that we did not get COVID-19. Girl, yes, we were. We literally got on and got off, and it was like, whoo, just missed it. Go home. But you got to admit, Miss Susie, we had a good time. It was super fun. We went shopping in St. Martin, in Puerto Rico. It was awesome. Okay, and by shopping, I mean fabric stores and yarn shops and leather shops. It was amazing. Okay, let's see. Oh, Linda says her surging cruise last May was canceled. Yeah, May last year would not have been the time to get on a cruise ship, for sure. I had scheduled a family cruise last year, the week of June 1st for my birthday. And it was going to be on the same cruise ship that we had gone in February. Because when I was on that ship, I told my husband, the ship has everything. The kids would love it. They had a game room, outside basketball courts. Like, they would love it. And of course, that got canceled too. So, all right. Hi, Miriam. Thank you. Happy New Year. Yes, Susie says, yes, we did. I know. Laura says that cruise sounds like heaven. It was great, you have to admit. And they were super careful as far as everybody washing their hands. You could not get in one of the food lines without first of all, there was somebody there, like, don't skip the hand washing. And it was like actual hand washing stations with hot water that came out automatically in soap. So like you had to wash everything while somebody was there washing, and then like you immediately went to the food. So I mean, they were on point. We have to give them that. That was Royal Caribbean. They did do a great job keeping that under wraps. All right. Ooh, Kitty says she's muddling her way through a patchwork quilted coat. So which pattern are you using? I actually have one. Do y'all want to see it? What I'm working on? Hold on. Let me grab it. I didn't do any fancy free motion work on this. Let me grab a couple of the pieces here. I just did straight line quilting, and I used a chambray fabric. And I was basically trying out this pattern, I haven't finished it yet, to see if I wanted to offer a class online, if this was something that quilters would be interested in. So, okay, this is the outside. And I just did what the pattern called for, like horizontal quilted lines. I used wool batting, the Quilter's Dream wool batting on the inside, so it's super lightweight, but it has good puff to it. That's how you can see the dimension and the texture that just a single row of stitching created on it, like that. Can y'all see this fabric? Can you see it, what the print is? They are literal pins and needles. It is the cutest, and this is a voile that I use, really lightweight cotton voile, an art gallery print, super cute. And so I did the inside like that, and of course I was like, oh, I'm going to finish the welt pockets before I go to Utah and this and no. It's been sitting like this since November. But anyways, hopefully I will get to finish it. But which pattern are you working on, Kitty? That is the back. The front would be like this. Two things. Like two panels, you know? And then the sleeves. And so this is all quilted. Well, you could do it both ways, I guess. You can quilt it as the yardage chunks, which would be easiest to do on a long arm. That would be amazing. But these I was just following along like if you just had a sewing machine. And I quilted it. So this will be the sleeve. Eventually. I'll keep you posted. And when I finally get around to finishing it, oh, I should probably mention the pattern. This is Grain Line Studios Tamarack Jacket. That's the pattern. Took me a second. So many patterns with so many different names. All right. Gail says put the needles on the outside. I would, except that the fabric is super light and sheer because it's a cotton voile and it's a cream, like white color. That thing will not last a day here without being black all over. Yeah, Janice was asking. It is the what did I just say? Grain Line Studios Tamarack Jacket. That's what it is. And I think we have some in stock, so I may list them on the website tomorrow or tonight or something. Let me write that down. List Tamarack patterns. I should do that since I do have some in stock. Okay. Let's see. Sam is asking, hi Vanessa, will the Clammy subscription box, girl, you already threw the name subscription box on it. She says, will the Clammy subscription box be available to followers outside of the US, the UK specifically? So let's clarify. It's not exactly a subscription box because it's going to be lumped together with the Clammy Quilt Club. But yes, we absolutely ship overseas. If you were tuning in tonight and maybe you were trying to get the flash sale or something and saw that it says free shipping only for US customers, the only thing is that like when we offer free shipping, we do free shipping in the US, but we still allow all our international customers to purchase from us. The only difference is that we invoice you separately because we can't, on a 4.5-pound box, there's no way that we could really swallow the cost of shipping overseas, as you know how expensive it is. But something like the Clammy Quilt Club, yes, we will work with international customers, and all we do is, you know, enter your actual address, and whatever the actual shipping cost is, then we just pass that off to you to cover the shipping, okay? So yes, you will be able to participate in the Clammy Quilt Club if you live overseas, okay? So to answer that, let's see. Sandy says, my brain is like a vault. It is, which is, I don't know, good and bad at times. All right, let's see. All right, y'all. Oh, Tanya says, girl, I love it. I would take that jacket class in a second. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to finish it off. And the way that I like to do things is, as you know, sometimes I have people email me and say, hey, can you teach a class on this? I only teach classes on stuff that, for me, I consider tried and true, which I feel like if a beginner were to sign up, I know that with my teaching instruction, I could guide them through the project successfully, okay? If I cannot do that, I'm not featuring the project, okay? Because then it's gonna be more frustration than it's worth. And so instead of having a beginner be frustrated while they're trying to kind of like fiddle through the project to get to the end, and I'm not able to break it down for them, or maybe they just don't have the skills, right? A lot of these projects require you to be able to sew straight. If you can't sew straight, you're going to have a problem. Like, that's not something I can help you with. You know what I mean? So I can tell you what to look for. I can tell you what not to look at. I can tell you how to place your guide. But if you still can't do that, then that's a problem. So I always make sure, whether I design the project or I'm featuring a separate pattern from another company or other designer, that I make it from beginning to end as their instructions have called for, so that I take notes and see where my students are going to have the issues. Because that's what I want to focus on when I'm filming it then, so I can break it down and say, okay, right here, let's stop. This is a tricky part, right? And if you know and you're familiar with my courses and my clubs, you know that that's how I teach, because I can anticipate where you're more likely to run into issues, and I like to break that down, okay? So yeah, I will... I'm still finishing up on that jacket because of that. That's why, I mean, I have a long arm. I didn't put it on the long arm. I wanted to go through just as the pattern instructions call for, to see if it's something that I feel like my students can tackle from beginning to end, right? With an additional help of my instruction. All right. Oh my gosh, Deanna, you're hilarious. She says she just bought the Moxie. She says if it's good enough for Vanessa, it's definitely good enough for Yo, that is hilarious. Oh, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. It's such a perfect little home long arm machine, you know? All right. Robin's asking if we will have any more fabric kits for the pajamas. So actually, we were inventorying today the offcuts of the stretch knit fabrics that we had for kits. The pajama kits, and she's referencing our Jeanne, like Jeanne patterns for an online course that I taught on pajamas. Well, the kits for that call for 3.5 yards of stretch knit. So as we were cutting fabric from the bolts, if we didn't have continuous 3.5 yards, we couldn't put them into a kit, right? So we tallied up how much of those offcuts we've had, and we are putting together the same way that we just did for tonight's flash sale, like this, like a medium flat rate box. We have done the same thing with stretch knit fabrics, okay? Different prints, different cuts. Now, some of those cuts might be 1/2 yard, and some of them might be 2.5, 2 3/4. Some of them are 3 yards, right? So it could be anywhere under 3.5 yards of continuous cuts. And so we have some of these bundles already done up from today. So I'm going to list those as well. And it's a mixture, mostly the designer quality cotton lycra or the cotton spandex blends that we did in a lot of the kits. But then some of them also have the double brushed poly. So I will, let me see, list the knit boxes, okay? So we will be working on that, okay? And I do have another fabric order of the stretch knits from Art Gallery Fabrics. I think it already arrived. So I have to check that, but we should have some more for kits. Yes, if you are someone who is in the pajama class and you want more kits, just let us know, because that way we know if we need to order more to restock again. We restock those kits like 6 or 7 times. So, you know, there's only certain number of times to restock before it's like, okay, everybody got one, they're over it. So if you do need kits or you want stretch knits for pajamas, let us know. You know, send us an email, leave me a comment on Facebook or YouTube or whatever, so that I know, hey, okay, 30 people have asked for kits. Let's make sure we place an order so we can restock, okay? All right. Carla says, I only have 20% left to do on that jacket. I know. It's the welt pockets and then putting it together in the binding. I need to make some time for that, Carla. She's good about that, about bothering me and staying on me like, girl, finish it. She'll text me and be like, are you done? Are you done? Not yet, not yet. I'm working on it. Okay, so Lynn says she wants the knit boxes. Mary Grace wants a knit box. Okay, yeah, so we will definitely get those listed for y'all. And we will send out another email. So when we restock these, the bundles that we had tonight for the quilting cottons and the knit, I will go ahead and restock those. And actually, another thing I need to restock tonight is the bundles of faux leather sheets. I know a lot of you are still waiting on those for the lacrosse pencil pouch. So we have a bunch of them bundled up, and I need to list them, but they have 11-inch zippers in them instead of the 9-inch for the lacrosse pencil pouch. So we're just going to list them like that. And those include, I think, 10 faux leather sheets and 10 zippers in them. So I need to list faux leather. I got to list all the things. Okay? Let's see. Audrey says, do you have to be in the class to get the kit? Are you asking about the pajama class? You don't have to be in the pajama class to buy a pajama kit. Just, you know, when you check out the website, like the shop page, if you see that it says jean pajama kits are there, then you can just purchase one. You don't have to be in the class at all. It's just that I make it easier because we include the pack of needles that you need, the ballpoint jersey needles. We include a spool of the Gutermann 100% polyester thread that I recommend for working with stretch knits, and then the yardage of the fabric. So it's basically a full little kit of everything you would need. So y'all don't have to be sourcing like, are these the right needles? Is this the right thread? All that. Lynn says, can we hang out for another hour? I don't want to clean up the sewing room. Girl, get to work. It's going to be worth it. When you see everything cleared off, then you can jump in and tackle more projects. I need to do that in here too. My husband actually bought me these, those big plastic kind of like Sterilite bins, because I have like hand embroidery stuff that's in a bunch of different little cubbies, and I'm like, I just need a big one to slide it under the long arm frame and put it in there. I have a bunch of undyed yarn that's just like a natural white colored, cream colored yarn. I want it all in a big one, and I wanted them clear so I can see, because if I put something in a box and I just tuck it away under the long arm, I'm never going to remember it's there. So as long as every day I'm seeing like, okay, this is there, I need to do that. Oh, okay, I need to make this with that. Oh, I need to do that. So that's what we're going to do there. And that brings me to my next thing. If you all want to see me film a video tour of my new sewing studio and how I've been rearranging it over the past couple of weeks, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to film a video for y'all. And it's just going to be tough to carve out the time to do it, because you know how that goes. For a video, it's going to have to be like everything in its place, and then like film the video right there, because 2 minutes later, it's like all over. As soon as you start working on a project, everything is messed up again. We know how that is. That's exactly right. Karen says, clean one mess and make a new one. Sounds like us. All right, let's see. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and leave a couple minutes for y'all to ask me any little questions that we have here. Hopefully, I've given y'all an overview of what's coming, what we've done. Add yourself to the wait list. If you missed out on tonight's Flash Sale Friday bundle, we will restock. As I mentioned earlier, we have closed our brick and mortar store in Gainesville, Florida, and so we are destashing, basically deeply discounting the designer quality fabric, quilting cotton fabric that we have in there. So we've been putting together these bundles. Great assortments, 14 to 16 different cuts. It's all yardage. No piece is smaller than a half yard. And that's another thing. I posted on the product description for these bundles that it was 10 plus yards. But really, it's more like 12 or 13 or 14 yards, because a lot of the cuts are almost a yard, or some of them are even over a yard, and there's 14 to 16 cuts of fabric. But I always like to list it a little bit more conservative, right? Because if I say, you're getting 14 yards, and somebody gets 13 3/4, and then I have to get an email of somebody saying, you said we were getting 14 yards, and I only got 13 3/4. So I'd rather tell you, you're getting 10 yards, and then you end up with 14, right? That's how it works. So that's what we did with that, and we will be restocking that. So yeah, so if you got it on tonight's bundle, you got a great deal. That's all I got to say about that. All right, so let me see. I think I saw another quick question here. Sandia is asking, is spun polyester a good thread for sewing knit fabric? I wouldn't use spun polyester. Well, let me say this. I wouldn't use it because the experience that I have had with spun polyester has always been a very low quality spun polyester, that for being a poly thread, it's super linty, which we usually expect cotton thread to be linty because it's a natural fiber, right? And the polyester, the high quality polyester threads do not really produce much lint at all. So spun polyester for me is like a lower quality polyester. And when I sew with knit fabrics, I really want to have a good quality thread, because the last thing you want is to be wearing something that you made. And as you're showing it off as something that you made, you hear like stitches popping or ripping. No, that would not be a good look. So you can try it, and if you're making samples for like kids or stuff like that, sure, give it a try and see how it's holding up for you. But like I said, in my experience, I stay away from it, because I don't even know what brand I've used before, but it's just like super linty and like it breaks easily. The whole point of using quality polyester thread for sewing garments is that it's stronger, right? It's a synthetic product. It's stronger than cotton because it's a natural fiber. And so if I'm making leggings or I'm stretching into a bathing suit that I've stitched the seams up with a polyester thread, I want to make sure that polyester thread is going to hold them stitches. Okay? All right. Let's see. Mary Grace says, I missed the model number of your Juki cover stitch. Again, please. Actually, you didn't because I never mentioned it. I just said it was a Juki cover stitch. So great question. This one I have here is not the top of the line. It's one down. It's the MCS 1500. I believe there's a 1700. I don't have that one. This is the MCS 1500 and it's a workhorse. And you all know that these Jukis, I buy them all from So Many Things in Mount Dora, Florida. So you can check them out online, somanythings.com. And they'll have these machines in stock. If not, you can just give them a call and they'll like put you on a wait list and order them in. But that is where I get them from. Yeah, Sheila was asking what's the name of my Juki store. That's it. So Many Things. It's not my store, but you know what I mean. Lisa's asking for a link to our online store. So my online shop is at craftygemini.com and then a /shop. Or you can just go to craftygemini.com. If that's easier to remember, then at the top you'll see different tabs and just click where it says shop. And it takes you right there to where we have, you know, hundreds of products and courses and membership clubs and all that stuff. All right. Let's see. Okay, great. Some of you are asking for the studio tour, so I'll be working on that. Let me see when I can like take my stash of whatever it is I'm working on, get it out the room, and then I'll film everything. Because I did get some feedback from some of you asking, like, instead of just doing a quick overview, can you like open every cubby and show us every single nook and cranny so you can tell us what you're storing where? I don't know that I'm going to do all that, but I will give y'all an in-depth tour just to say, like, I mean, I have what, 416... 3 times 4, 12. That's 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. I have 32 plus 8. So I literally have 40 of these Calyx, IKEA Calyx cubbies in this room. And I was just telling one of my team members, like, we need to make time one day to like dump all of them out and resort everything. Because there's a mishmash. I mean, I have one that's like faux leather, Cork fabric. Then I have one that's just leather. Then I have one that's just mesh fabrics of all kinds. Stretch, wovens, light, bathing suit type mesh. I mean, everything. And then I have the majority of them are a mix of quilting cottons and stretch knit scraps, sweater knits, lightweight, medium weight, heavyweight, like all that stuff. I need to like sort them into their own sections. But for right now, they're just tucked and hidden away. That will work for me for now, okay? Becky says that she's not finding the rayon challis in the shop. Do you still stock that? We may have some. As we get the rest of the stuff out of the brick and mortar store, we will know what inventory we have that we can list online. I think we still have some rayon. So if you send us an email, we can do a quick look and see next time we go to the shop this week and see what we have that we can list. Okay? All right. Lisa says it doesn't have to be perfectly in order. Oh, it won't be. The video will show you very clearly that it will not be in order. I'm just not like that. Y'all have probably seen over the years the wild pictures that I post of my older studio, like, oh, today we're cleaning the studio. Some people start hyperventilating just from looking at the pictures. But yeah, I'm just happy to have this well-lit, bright, open space that I can, you know, feel inspired to create, design, and get the actual hardcore work done. The computer's there. This is here. The machines are here. So this will be great. All right. All right, Gloria's asking, are you going to get the wax canvas fabric back in stock? So that wax canvas fabric has been a beast to try and get to restocked. We ordered it from Robert Kaufman, their waxer fabric. They have been out of stock of a bunch of colors the last time I checked. And I ordered, I think, like in June or July, some other fabric, and I didn't get it till like October. So they're very much delayed, and I think the last time I checked was maybe last month, and the colors they had were not really colors I wanted to stock. So I need to check again. Let me write that down. I need to check again and see if they've restocked or where they're at with that. But yes, I mean, if I can get my hands on it, I will restock it, okay? Let's see. Kate's asking if I still have the older studio too. I do, and so because we're closing the brick and mortar store, that studio, which is a 12-foot by 28-foot shed on our property that used to be my old sewing studio, is now like our shop. It's our inventory shed where we ship from, where we have employees come and they package your bundles and cut fabric and do all that stuff in there, which is great, right? Because they don't have to be in my house. It works for everybody. And I've been able to get people to work in there because nobody else is in there. So in the time of COVID, that little shed has come in super handy. All right. So, oh my gosh, Amy says she has to make 85 project bags. Good luck with that one, girl. Good luck. All right. No, Susan is asking if we owned the brick and mortar store or were we renting it. We were just renting it. It was just one unit in a longer strip, so it was just leased out. But yes, we have closed the brick and mortar store. I know everybody's asking, getting emails. We're so sorry. We're so sorry. It's fine. You know, you got to pivot. You got to do what you got to do. These are business decisions. We're just very happy to move forward from this so that we are no longer spending all that money on those expenses, having had the doors closed for literally 10 months now. So when that's done, I mean, we're pretty much done. So we'll be out of there at the end of February, and we will be able to just be doing everything like we did before, right? From the house, and just doing more stuff online. Let's see. Okay. All right, so that is it for me. Thank you everybody for joining us. If you're new here, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment below. You can interact with us here. And if you're watching me on YouTube, make sure to click the subscribe button so you are notified next time. There's also a little bell icon there that if you click that, then you'll get individual notifications every time I post a new video tutorial to my channel or every time I go live. And speaking of lives, remember our current live schedule is every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. I'm in Florida, so on the East Coast. And then every Friday at 7 p.m. as well, both on the Crafty Gemini Facebook page and then on YouTube as well. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you to everybody who got in on a Flash Sale Friday bundle tonight. If you missed out on it, you can still head over to craftygemini.com /shop and just add yourself to the wait list there. As soon as we'll restock, you will receive an email notification. So you can head over and then make your purchase then. And we are working to restock because we still have fabric at the shop that we need to cut up and move. So thank you everybody for your support. And I will see you, today's Friday. So I will see you next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. I hope you all enjoy your weekend and thanks for tuning in.